How do you feel about your new moustache?
He's refusing to cut my moustache. Oh no.
Allepey is the main tourist hotspot for discovering the nearby backwaters. Our plan was to avoid getting an expensive and overpriced houseboat tour, which would cost us a minimum of 5,000 rupees.
Expensive.
Instead, we planned to take an 8-hour tourist ferry to Kollam, which winds its way through the larger canals of the backwaters. Then, we would explore the smaller ones on Munroe Island, with a slender canoe boat, away from the crowds. But what are the backwaters anyway? When I heard this word for the first time, I immediately thought of Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now.
Never get out of the boat. Absolutely goddamn right. Unless you were going all the way.
The backwaters turned out to be something quite different. Halfway, we stopped for lunch.
We just had thali. It's curry served on a banana leaf with chutneys and pickles. It was very delicious.
Throughout the ferry ride, we could see locals hard at work washing clothes, cleaning pots, weaving nets, fishing, and bathing themselves. These backwaters are a lifeline through the villages, and it's fascinating to see how daily life revolves around them.
So Dan, where are we now?
We are now in Kollam train station. We are going to Munroe Island.
Very nice. How was your trip on the backwaters today?
Yeah, it was very good. It was fantastic actually.
Fantastic.
We saw a massive fish jump out of the water. It must have been like 20 to 30 kilos. Just jumping. He jumped twice. And we saw an eagle, and he swooped down, and he got a fish as well. And then we saw loads of birds and wildlife, and all the people watching, and everybody's like smiling. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Like, we went from very small winding canals, where the boat just about fit, and you could see into people's houses, you could see them wash.
What did the locals in Allepey tell you about this boat tour?
Oh man, the locals now, they're trying to screw us. Everybody's trying to screw us. They said that you wouldn't see anything, that it was going to be shit, that it was just going to be basically like being in the sea. You're going to be so far from the riverbanks that you won't be able to see any wildlife or any people or any scenery. It was the opposite. We went from like small ones to, okay, sometimes they're big ones, big open ones. But it was still good.
After some research beforehand, we decided not to stay in the main tourist hub of Kollam and explore the smaller backwaters from sleepy little Munroe Island. We checked into a newly built hotel called Lake and River, situated on the banks of the Astamudi Lake and the Kallada River.
Hello.
Surrounded by water on 3 sides, it was a great place to stay in the heart of the backwaters, especially as we were the only guests. The next morning, we hired a local guide called Vishnu, and explored Munroe Island's small and intricate canals by canoe boat.
That's interesting. Oh, that's clever.
Vishnu gave us great insight into what life is like on the island. He also treated us to chai and bhajis cooked over the fire and showed us how the islanders make rope using coconut husks. The peaceful canoe trip took us past small villages, tiger prawn farms and palm tree plantations with grazing goats and buffaloes. Later that day, we took another boat trip on a motorboat around the island. We could go further afield and we saw fishermen casting out their nets and catching fish, children shouting hello and waving their hands, grazing animals, and wild eagles flying or resting in the palm trees. On our final day, we explored the island on land, riding around on bicycles. Everywhere we went, people would smile, point, and wave. I decided to have a haircut and a shave in an old barber shop as it was keeping me hot in the humid weather. The locals came to watch the old man shave everything off my face except my mustache.
Are you okay? Yeah. You need to do the mustache as well there.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, perfect. How do you feel about your new mustache?
It's refusing to cut my mustache. Oh no.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like styling.
It was a very funny experience that allowed us to mingle with the friendly locals. Riding our bikes, we couldn't get over how friendly and helpful people were on this small island.
These are three guys walking down the road and they saw me taking pictures of the church from the outside and I started to cycle away and they were like, hey, psst, do it, doing the weird sounds, and they just opened the gates for me because they had the key.
It was even locked up.
Yeah, they had the key and I was like, oh, thank you, and I felt like I had to take some photos and stuff. As I left, they were still there, like just watching me. And I was like, thank you, and they were like really smiley and friendly and stuff. And
As our time on Munroe Island came to a close, we reflected on what a good time we had. Taking the ferry down to Kollam and then hiring smaller slender canoes away from the crowds was a great combination. It was way cheaper than a houseboat and gave us an overall varied experience of the backwaters. We were sad to leave this wonderful place that is at risk of disappearing with rising sea levels and unstable land. Munroe Island, we will miss you. Rachel Doody, happy birthday!
Happy birthday